There are a number of ways that we can take this conversation, right? The way that I think about it is the data. That prior to today's mission, I think I'm right in saying, of all the people that have gone to space, only 15% were female. So what is the significance from that standpoint to you, Ezinne?
This is greatly about American value creation and more innovation from the space sector through the launch business. I think that what we're seeing here is you're seeing Blue Origin cementing itself as a safe and dependable option to go to space as an option for space tourism. The fact that in 11 minutes you can zoom past the Kármán line, 62 miles above sea level, in a fully reusable suborbital rocket that's built for humans and come back safely is, I think, a big American feat that we need to highlight.
Right.
And the big question is what this means for investors in space. Does this mean investors will move further into the launch business and support additional flights? Does it mean that we will see another one of these in another decade, making history again? Or will this continue to become a commonplace?
I get asked a lot about the gap between Blue Origin and SpaceX. But the other perspective of the investors I speak to is that it's good to have two private sector names that are able to have a launch system that's reusable and that are launching with greater cadence. How important, though, is it that Blue Origin starts to make progress in its other domains outside of New Shepard? I'm talking about New Glenn and also its engine business.
And, they're also in the space station business as well. They're a busy company. So I think that it's important that they are able to show successes because in the space business, a safe successes are all that matters. It's important to show these results in all your businesses. And right now they are doing that. And that bodes well for the investment community that's watching what this does to grow the space asset class.
Those that are skeptical look at this and say, this is a shop window for Jeff Bezos and Blue in the sense that it's an all celebrity, well, mostly celebrity crew. And that to everyday people, this just isn't achievable. It's $150,000 for the deposit. We don't know how much a ticket costs because it depends on your relationship with Bezos. What's the counter argument? What's the argument on how this progresses and advances people's everyday opportunity to go to space?
Yeah, the counter argument is threefold, actually. The first is it helps the engineers with continuous repetition, which means that, again, they are doing this safely and they become more used to doing it. So the engines and the systems perform better, or it becomes more commonplace technically. The second is that if you think about the advent of air travel, it wasn't affordable to everyone. And so with these repetitions, we hope that the intention is it helps to bring down the cost so that you have more people able to go to space. And then thirdly, I think that what this does, and you alluded to this a bit with the two options, is it inspires others to start more rocket companies in America. It inspires others to see this as something that is, something we do every day and not once in a decade.
Ezinne, lean on your experience in office. How do you think the White House and the pending NASA administrator would view Blue's mission this morning?
I believe that pending NASA administrator also was on a similar flight. So one can't help but be excited that this is continuing, that there are more people given access to space. And I think that from the White House lens, when you see an American company continue to foster the innovation that we want to see coming from American ingenuity, that's a plus. And then thirdly, I think from the lens of NASA and even the White House too, you want to see American prominence, American leadership, and that's what you're seeing here.
Jeff Bezos has a very similar big picture view of the future of space. Like Elon Musk wants humankind to be multi-planetary species, I think Jeff Bezos talks about living and working in space. And you reference the future business model that Blue has of the future of international space stations, not the International Space Station. But with your experience, do you have line of sight to that future from a launch like such we had today?
Absolutely. The International Space Station is set to retire in about 6 years. So by 2030, we expect that to start being retired. And there are a number of launch companies, a number of space companies, including Blue Origin, that are working to replace this station. And we're not going to see one station because the International Space Station is quite large and was built over a decade. So you're going to see multiple options. You might have one for pharmaceuticals. You might have a space station for scientific research and another for space tourism, a space hotel, if you will. So what you see is this repetition of flying gives it adds a lot of experience and expertise to the teams that are building what could be a future space station hotel.